Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Alex Lippic, and kindly joining me in the studio today is Siobhan Byron, EVP Universal Banking of Finastra. Great to see you, Siobhan. Welcome.
Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure to have you. So let's start by setting the scene, shall we? We're currently experiencing a period of dramatic change, particularly within the banking industry. Would you say that it's just neo and startup banks that are transforming and reimagining this space? Let's start there.
No, not at all. I think if you look at it, while the neos and the startups certainly have brought disruption and there's a lot of press around that, so to speak, I don't think that they are the only ones. And in fact, they are benefiting from the innovation that the established players have done and continue to do. Without them, the neos and the startups wouldn't be where they are today. Now, I think what it does do, however, is it brings that pressure on everyone to constantly evolve, constantly challenge, keep up with the pace. And of course, we see that coming from just the market in general.
Really interesting insight. You mentioned the pressure that it brings to the table. How can financial institutions revolutionise their core banking systems, do you think?
Well, I think it's really about making sure that you have your vision of where you want to go, what's your strategy, and then looking at how best to get there. I mean, when you think about it, there's many different paths to doing something, and we see some parties that, I'll say, put a wrapper around things, and make it appear as if it's modern. It's not. If we're truly talking about transformation, though, it's a journey, right? It is about understanding how you're going to really future-proof your business and be able to adapt quickly. What are the goals you're trying to achieve? So for us, for instance, we have obviously spent a lot of time and years, decades in fact, evolving our technology, but also we talk about symbiosis. We talk about how can we help our customers, or how can they help themselves in terms of defining a strategy that's going to allow them to embrace transformation, but at a pace that works for them without doing that traditional rip and replace or big bang effect, which can have a lot of risk, right? So to me, it's about finding the right pace, it's about finding the right technology, and then it's about how they're going to bring that together within their organization. Change management's a key aspect of that too.
You mentioned the ability to adapt, obviously being very important indeed. Are you able to share with us some examples of organisations that have successfully adapted to these changes, Siobhan?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot out there. We've seen, for instance, there's a startup, Tonic Bank, in the Philippines, and when you look at an organisation that has grown quickly, so they've gone from nothing to over a million customers in 2 years, serving the underbanked population in the Philippines. Now, one of the things that's unique about them is they've had to adapt, even as a newer organization. They've had to adapt their strategy to obviously the customer segment that they're solving for and working for, and that segment is about 27-year-olds on average using mobile phones. So everything has to be consumable through that mobile device. It has to be fast-paced. And so they are an example of an organization, while newer, that has embraced and adapted and evolved, and quite honestly, they're thriving too. But that pace and that evolution is there and is impressive in an organization that's so new as well.
It's fascinating just how dramatically and quickly things are changing over time, and we're seeing that rapid change at the moment, undoubtedly. You've spoken about some of the benefits there. Yeah. What about the challenges? What do you see as the challenges for these organisations now and looking forwards into the future?
Well, I think there's a number. I mean, I think, if you don't change, you risk getting left behind. And we all know from examples what that can mean for organizations. So I think there's one, you lose your market share, or you lose your positioning, or you lose the future opportunity for growth, number one. Number two, I think there's the inherent risk to your people that you're going to lose talent, that you're going to lose the heart of what you are, right? And I mean, as we all know, our people are key to our success. So I think you look at that. The challenges as well, I mean, there's so many, but it's also about not being able to serve your future needs. I mean, to me, with the advances that we see in technology and the pace of change, if you're not staying current, if you're not really driving, you're going to, as I said, lose your people to folks that are, but also your customers and the ability to respond in the future.
So it's about keeping up with the pace, staying ahead of your competitors. Absolutely, really fascinating to hear your insight. Thank you ever so much for joining us in the studio. It's been an absolute pleasure, Siobhan, and we hope to see you again very soon.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you.